Yo, what's up everyone? It's Scoot again. And yeah, like a lot of these vlogport videos are just me. Hopefully someone else soon. But today I'm reacting to Roblox most embarrassing interview. By the way, this guy is one of the victims of Parlo, the newly exposed Roblox YouTuber. Anyways, let me click the notification bell. And yeah, let's get into it.
Baszucki went on a New York Times tech podcast called Hard Fork, and what should have been a simple interview turned into a complete disaster for Roblox's reputation. In this one interview, Baszucki somehow managed to call a gambling-like polymarket feature on Roblox a brilliant idea, doubled down on their new AI age estimation system, which, by the way, I explained in my last video can literally be bypassed by Sora AI, and overall just made himself look like a complete buffoon. The backlash
Alright, what should I do for the face thing? Hold on. Huh. I'm gonna just use my dog or something. Oh wait. I'll use the new, hold on. I'm gonna use this. Anyways, let me continue.
Has been insane. He walked away from this interview looking confused, defensive, and completely disconnected from reality and what's actually happening in his own platform. So before we get into everything, please make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share this video to help spread awareness because this situation is honestly unbelievable. Before I get into the specifics, I just need to point out one moment from the interview that perfectly shows how ridiculous this whole thing was. At one point in the middle of a serious conversation about child safety, the interviewer calmly points out that he noticed David Baszucki getting really frustrated, and David Baszucki responded with this bizarre ramble about how he's not frustrated, but how he's so excited to talk about all this, but he's trying to figure out how much fun time he gets with them.
I mean, look, I can tell you're getting a little bit frustrated here.
I'm actually not frustrated. I'm so excited to talk. I thought we were going to be talking about funny things in the industry and all of that. So I'm not
Bro's brain form is Donald Trump's brain form. He has the same exact brain as Donald Trump, bro.
frustrated.
Alright, sorry I brought politics into it. I'll stop.
I'm just kind of figuring out how much fun time I have with you guys and how much fun time we have versus kind of this super focus.
Got it.
What is he even talking about? What does fun time mean in the middle of a safety crisis discussion? Did he think he was there for a Diddy experience? A playdate? A field trip? It's such a strange and really weird moment, and it really shows how disconnected he was.
Wait, what did you
It's
say?
such a strange and really... Did he think he was there for a Diddy experience? A playdate?
That's wild.
A field trip? It's such a strange and really weird moment, and it really shows how disconnected he was throughout the entire interview. And trust me, this wasn't even the worst part. It only goes downhill from there. Anyways, let's go into actual chronological order. The interview started with the host trying to understand Roblox's situation and asking David Baszucki how he thinks of the problem of on Roblox. And right away, instead of actually addressing the problem, David said something really concerning.
And how do you think of the problem of on Roblox?
We think of it not necessarily just as a problem, but an opportunity as well. How do we allow young people to build, communicate, and hang out together? How do we build the future of communication at...
So you're saying you want predators, you want grown-ass creeps to hang out with, what is it? What is it? Oh yeah, kids. What's wrong with my, yeah, real.
the same time.
Yes, he called an opportunity before even acknowledging that children are being targeted.
No. He's honestly more dumb than the gaming otter. Like, bro, the gaming otter is smarter than this. Even though they're both very bad, I think he's worse. I shouldn't have made the diss track on Go Back Guy. I'm sorry, Go Back Guy. I should have made it on David Baszucki, bro. I shouldn't have switched the person.
Hang out together? How do we build the future of communication at the same time?
Yes, he called an opportunity. Before even acknowledging that children are being targeted on this platform, he reframed it as some kind of exciting business challenge. He then rambled about building the future of communication, which already sets the tone for how disconnected he was going to sound for the rest of the interview. Later on, when the host got more direct and said that lawsuits make it clear that Roblox has become a place where go to find kids, David doesn't explain anything. He didn't clarify anything. He immediately cut them off just to say he categorically rejects that description. No reasoning, with no counter evidence, just entirely denying the whole thing. Then, one of the hosts followed up even more bluntly. But don't you think you have a problem with on the platform? And David answered with this.
I think we're doing an incredible job at innovating relative to the number of people on our platform and the hours in real.
No, you're not. You're doing terrible, bro. We need a new CEO, bro. We need a new CEO. You guys are falling off hard, bro. In fact, at this point, I switched to Minecraft. I might even switch to Fortnite at this point, bro. Like, bro, you're doing a terrible job.
Really leaning into the future of how this is going to work.
Instead of saying, yes, we have a problem, he hid behind the scale of Roblox, calling it mind-boggling, bragging about 11 billion moderation hours, and acting like size automatically excuses failures. He completely dodged the question, and
Size, yeah. That's proof he's a bad person.
when the host
Proof he's a bad person, bro.
pointed out that easily bypass Roblox's filters just by changing a few letters, David's response was literally, I don't want to comment on it, which is basically the worst possible thing for the CEO to say on a platform that's actively facing child lawsuits. In fact, there was actually one filed just a couple hours from this recording. After that, the interview got even more bizarre. The host brought up a report from Hindenburg Research, an activist fund, which accused Roblox of compromising child safety in order to report growth to investors, and pointed out that Roblox's trust and safety spending had apparently decreased. And David's response wasn't just embarrassing, he seemed genuinely pissed. Like the moment they mentioned Hindenburg, his whole tone shifted.
Last year, activist fund and short seller Hindenburg Research came out with a report arguing, among other things, that Roblox was, quote, compromising child safety in order to report growth to investors. One of the things they pointed to was that there had been a decline in your spending on trust and safety. You have denied that. Why? What did they have wrong?
So, fun.
Why is he smiling? He's a creep. He's a creep. He's a creep. Here, David Baszucki. Hold on one sec. What the hell? Oh. Bro, you're such a creep. You're such a creep. You're such a creep. You're such a creep. You're such a dirty boy. Such a dirty man. Look at that man. Such a dirty man.
And so first off, Hindenburg's no longer in existence, correct? So you should report on that.
Bro, such a creep. Such a creep, bro. Bro, if my microphone worked on Discord, you know what I would do. You know who I know, and you know who I will call, and you know what will happen.
They went out of business for some reason. The other thing is, have you researched that information?
He said it with this irritated, almost angry energy, like he couldn't believe they dared to bring it up, and pointing out that they disbanded was clearly meant to discredit them, even though dissolving something doesn't magically erase the data they published. Then, instead of addressing the actual topic, David flipped the question books back on the host, asking them if they researched it. It came off defensive, cornered, and honestly kind of hostile, like he was trying to trap them in their own interview. And then, when he finally answered, he gave the typical tech CEO excuse. And this entire part of the interview made it painfully obvious that David had no real answer for trusty and safety criticism. Every time he tried to elaborate, he just made Roblox look even worse. This was the moment that he fully doubled down on AI, comparing it to car manufacturing and acting like replacing people with machines is automatically the smarter choice. But here's the problem. AI is not a perfect solution for child safety. AI cannot understand certain slang, nuance, or modern tactics.
Yeah, like, exactly, bro. AI should be a backup, like, on Discord, like the bots, like, yeah.
The way human moderators can. In fact, whatever they're doing right now with the AI age estimation system, there's already bypasses for it, which is actually something I'm going to get into in my next video, but it's really bad to rely solely on AI for moderation. So when he says they're constantly moving to higher quality AI, what he's really saying is we're cutting costs and hoping the algorithm figures it out, literally just cheaping out. And on a platform where children's safety is on the line, that is unacceptable. Then, right when the host tried to remind him that other companies already failed with AI-only moderation approaches, he interrupted again, throwing out another bizarre defensive comment that had nothing to do with the actual topic.
I also remember 15 years ago
I'm so
when...
glad you guys are aligned with the way we won Roblox.
Right. I also remember 15 years ago when Mark Zuckerberg was saying...
Is this a stealth interview where actually you love every...
I can smell his breath through the camera, bro. It's all in that smile. It's all in that smile, bro. It's all in that smile. He's gonna do something. Look at that smile. It's all in that smile. He's gonna do something. On God, he is gonna do something. I don't know what, but he has plans. You can see it in his face. He has plans. And those plans, as you can tell by his face, are not any good.
everything we're doing, and you're here to stealthily support it?
This line came completely out of nowhere. It's like he genuinely thought that they were conspiring to praise him during a conversation about lawsuits and child on his platform. It was one of the strangest moments in the entire interview, aside from the fun time part, and it perfectly showed how disconnected David was from the seriousness of the questions. Instead of listening, he kept talking over them. Instead of responding, he kept derailing, and instead of taking accountability, he kept making Roblox look even worse, especially the way he was cutting them off every few seconds like a little child screaming "nuh-uh."
I also remember 15 years ago
I'm so glad you guys are aligned with the way we won Roblox.
Right, I also remember.
After that, one of the hosts asked what should have been the most straightforward question. How does Roblox actually measure success when it comes to child safety? In other words, how does the CEO know the platform was safe enough for parents to trust it? And David's answer wasn't reassuring at all.
We see all of those metrics internally all the time. They're not publicly shared. We're watching filter rates, we're watching this rate, we're watching all of that rate. Those metrics constantly get better as we add more and more AI on top of it.
So basically, we have the data, but we won't show it to you. Just trust us. He once again defaulted to saying the same talking point he used throughout the entire interview. AI is improving everything. He kept claiming their error rates and filters are constantly getting better and better, but offered zero evidence, zero transparency, and zero accountability. Everything is hidden behind vague internal metrics that nobody outside the company is allowed to see. Then he tried to reassure everyone by saying his own kids use Roblox and that employees' kids use it as well.
His kids use Roblox. Huh? He has kids? If he has kids, that life of his is definitely long gone, bro. Long gone, bro.
Well, as if it's some
At the least, she doesn't sleep with him. That's the least.
How proves that the platform is safe. That's not a safety argument, that's a personal anecdotal, and it's a bad one. But the worst part comes next. Instead of taking responsibility for Roblox's environment, David pushes the burden entirely onto parents.
But I would say, and I've said it on other things, if a parent is the ultimate arbiter.
He stuttered. He stuttered. Well, that's a normal thing to do, but like, yeah, I'll let that one slide.
Of responsibility. And if a parent out there, for any reason, is not comfortable their kid going to the park, not comfortable their kid playing with a certain toy, not comfortable being on Roblox, who am I to say, right? And so I do leave that to the parents' responsibility.
This is wild. On a platform that has faced multiple lawsuits, investigations, and exposes about and child. His answer is essentially, if you don't like it, don't let your kid use it. Not my problem. Parents absolutely have a role in keeping their kids safe. But David acting like Roblox shouldn't be held responsible for its own environment is ridiculous, especially coming from a CEO who keeps bragging about next-generation safety tech and a mind-boggling scale. You can't brag about scale one second and then pretend you have no responsibility in the next. This moment completely exposes the core issue. Roblox loves to talk about innovation, AI, and building the future, but when it comes to actual accountability, David immediately steps back and says it's up to the parents, not the platform, not the company, not him. And then the interview ended with one of the most wildest things I've ever heard a CEO openly admit. The hosts asked a hypothetical joke question about whether Roblox would ever add prediction markets to the platform, like gambling. You know, like letting kids bet on outcomes in games using Robux. It was clearly meant to be a no, obviously that's insane moment. But instead, David said this.
Would you ever put a prediction market inside Roblox? Like let kids bet with their Robux and say, I bet he's gonna steal a tung 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 sahur.
Or I bet he's not going to dress to impress.
Yeah. Oh, to be clear, I think this is a horrible idea. I was just interested if you were thinking about it.
Well, I actually think it's a brilliant idea.
See, he's not laughing. See? There's a devil inside of him. There's a devil. I see a little smirk, but see? He needs help.
If it can be done in an educational way that's legal. And so I imagine a no free Robux, no free prizes, just a game called the Dress to Impress Predictor, where it's not like trying to get kids money or anything like that. I would be a big fan of it.
Interesting.
A brilliant idea. He literally called a gambling-style prediction market on a platform dominated by minors brilliant. The host even tried to clarify, saying directly, to be clear, I think this is a horrible idea.
Oh, to be clear, I think this is a horrible idea.
And he still doubled down, talking about how fun it would be as long as they didn't give away Robux or real prizes. He even started describing this imaginary gambling-style game he'd add to Roblox, calling it the Dress to Impress Predictor. Like, what are we doing here? How is the CEO of a company under investigation for child safety talking about adding gambling mechanics for kids? This was supposed to be a serious discussion about protecting kids, not brainstorming new ways to introduce casino mechanics into a platform filled with 10-year-olds. I think one of the most wildest parts about this is that he wasn't joking. He seemed like he genuinely had a wonderful idea that everyone would agree with. I also want to point out how literally everyone on Twitter who saw this interview saw this as a confirmation that David has absolutely no awareness of how inappropriate or dangerous that idea is. It was genuinely one of the most tone-deaf, irresponsible things I've ever heard a tech executive say in an interview, and it perfectly sums up how disconnected and careless Roblox's leadership has become. The backlash, as you can imagine, has been insane, and it's not looking good at all. Even Moist Critical posted a video about this covering this the other day, calling David Baszucki a completely clueless buffoon. This whole interview was one big embarrassment, and it left the community with more questions than answers, and it makes the company look completely out of touch with reality. If you made it this far into the video, thank you guys for
Alright, I subscribe.
watching. Please make
No
sure to
like.
like and subscribe if you think David Baszucki has completely lost his mind.
He has. He has. He needs to find a mind, bro. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.